Breaking right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m. A raging fire next door sets a Lakewood family's home on fire.
There's a big old wall of flame next door.
I'm Denver 7's Christian Lopez, live from where several people had to evacuate overnight from the fire that gutted this building.
Also this morning, a Colorado man is the focus of the Capitol riot hearings in D.C.
USA! USA!
What you'll hear from the former spokesperson for the Oath Keepers militia who lives in Estes Park.
And hundreds of gallons of fuel into a local creek.
You can kind of smell it in the air. It kind of smells like diesel over here.
This morning, health officials worked to clean up the mess as police search for the fuel theft that caused all this.
Plus, a spectacular new look into the final frontier.
We expected to basically transform our understanding of the universe.
The just released photos from the world's most powerful telescope and what we could learn from them.
Yeah, some jaw-dropping images there that we will get to, but first we want to get back to breaking news this morning of a huge fire that erupted in a Lakewood townhome complex that is still under construction.
You can see this live picture now showing the damage to that complex. The flames are out now, but it was so hot at one point the fire spread to a home next door. Yeah. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is at the scene near West Colfax and Sims. And Christian, you talked to a man who had to evacuate.
And he is still pretty shaken up this morning. He had to escape those flames overnight. Several people in this neighborhood had to evacuate when that fire broke out. It started where these townhomes that are under construction are. It destroyed 3 of them, and then the fire was just so intense that that house right there, right behind it, that white house actually caught fire from heat exposure. And that's where 2 brothers were living. We did talk to one of them who says he was just thankful that he was awake and he could call 911.
Very, very scary because I thought, oh, there goes the house. And if I'd gone to bed, as I usually do, I probably wouldn't have noticed until the whole thing burnt down, yeah, with me in the house, yeah.
Terrifying moments for those 2 brothers. The American Red Cross just got here a few moments ago. They are trying to help them find a temporary place to stay. Meanwhile, crews are on the scene mopping up, and they are still trying to figure out what that cause of the fire was. Live in Lakewood this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thanks, Christian. Switching gears, taking a live look from our Mile High camera. Temperatures will be warming back up to the 90s today.
Yeah, a nice sunrise already this morning, but it was a nice break from the extreme heat yesterday.
Yeah, take it when you can get it in early and mid-July, because it doesn't last long. It's going to be pretty toasty again. Beautiful right now. Clear skies you can see here through Winter Park. Lots of sunshine out west. We're going to see sunshine really statewide through the early morning hours, and then a few more building clouds and a chance for a few thunderstorms this afternoon. Starting first in the mountains, so a better chance you're going to see a little rain, lightning, and thunder, but definitely warmer. Mid-80s expected by about noon. We're going to be in the low to even mid-90s through the afternoon, so it was a one-day break from the heat. Now we're at about 90, 95 degrees from Denver north up to Fort Collins and Greeley. Castle Rock and Parker, you'll see some mid to upper 80s. Highlands Ranch this afternoon, 92, and more 70s than 60s in the mountains today. Now, again, there will be a chance for a few storms. We'll take a closer look at that, and this is just the start of the warm-up. I'll show you how hot it gets on the Super 7 Day coming up.
And I just mentioned a bit ago this rollover crash over in southeast Denver in Aurora. This is going to be on the drive on southbound Havana. Southbound Havana, right here at Jewel, right by the bus stop. Take a look just from Air Tracker 7. As you can see from the camera there, we have this car upside down right next to the bus stop, and you see debris all over the roadway. Now, 1-2 lanes are blocked for now. They are allowing traffic to get through on that left lane, which is a little surprising right now. They'll probably close it down to flip the car over and then haul it out of here, which will be a process of at least 30, maybe 45 minutes. But right now, southbound Havana is open through here. Not much of a delay just because traffic is light enough at this hour where it's not causing too much of a problem. But obviously, it's going to be a hazard for you trying to get through there at Havana and Havana and Jewel, rather. The rest of the drive is just getting busier in the regular spots, whether it's I-76, 270. The rest of the drive looks just fine, including to the west side.
You're taking a live look now at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., where in just a few hours, a Colorado man will testify before the committee investigating the January 6th riots. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us here. And Veronica, Jason Van Tatenhove was not at the riots. So why do lawmakers want to hear from him?
Van Tatenhoven wasn't there. He's a podcaster in Estes Park now, but he was a spokesperson
for the Oath Keepers militia group. His testimony today, it's to give a historical overview of the Oath Keepers as well as violent militias. Now, despite the focus on today's hearing being on radical extremism, Van Tatenhoven, who you see there, he says he's not a part of that anymore. He now celebrates Pride Month, talking nothing like he did just 5 years ago when he was a part of the Oath Keepers. Now, during his time with the militia group, you'd hear him say things and warning, quote, good Americans against the federal government, telling them it was trying to, quote, take more of their liberties away, even urging, quote, fellow patriots to, quote, take a stand. Van Tatenhoven spoke about his upcoming testimony during one of his podcast episodes, saying this isn't the first or even the second time he'll be speaking with officials in D.C. He said in part, quote, I've already done 2 interviews. One was off the record and just via Zoom, and the other was me flying out to some congressional office in D.C. and being on the record. All I'm doing is giving a historical precedence to the Oath Keepers and groups like the Oath Keepers. Now, lawmakers are also expected to call Stephen Ayers, an Ohio man who pleaded guilty to his role in the Capitol attack. Ayers posted on social media accusing President Biden and Democrats of treason and warning of a coming civil war. We may also hear from former White House counsel Pat Cipollone, who recorded his testimony just this past Friday. In an earlier hearing, a White House aide said Cipollone warned staffers not to let the former president go up to the Capitol with his supporters. In studio, I'm Veronica Acosta. Number 7.
Yeah, another person everyone is waiting to see if and when he'll testify is former Trump advisor Steve Bannon. We told you he is now willing to testify in front of the committee, but only in a live public setting. This comes as a federal judge refused to delay his contempt of Congress trial, which was set to start next week. Bannon says he can now cooperate with the committee after President Trump lifted his executive privilege order preventing his testimony. However, an attorney for Trump told the Department of Justice that the former president never claimed executive privilege for Bannon, that is. Today's hearing is scheduled to start at 11 a.m. our time. You'll be able to watch that right here on Denver 7.
The city of Aurora is ready to put car thieves in jail with a no-tolerance policy. Last night, the city council passed a new ordinance, created a mandatory minimum 60-day sentence for people convicted of stealing cars. Repeat offenders would spend 120 days in jail. Those tougher penalties go into effect next month. Aurora City Council also approved a plan for radar speed cameras in neighborhoods. 3 van-mounted cameras will be in place at the start of the school year. Right now, Lakewood police are looking for the person responsible for leaking hundreds of gallons of diesel fuel into Bear Creek. On Monday, a semi driver noticed someone drilled a hole into his truck's fuel tank, and it leaked 200 gallons into the gutter, which then made its way into a storm drain and into the creek. Denver Water and the EPA were both alerted, and Colorado Parks and Wildlife says it is inspecting the spill. Right now, though, there appears to be no harm to the wildlife, the ducks or fish in the area. Officials are working to pull as much of that fuel from the water as possible.
Well, you'll have another chance to get an e-bike rebate from the city of Denver. The city opened the program yesterday to more than 2,000 applicants, but it sold out quickly. So the city will accept more applications on August 1st. Half of the rebates are worth $400 for Denver residents 16 and older. The other half are reserved specifically for lower income residents who can get up to a $1,200 voucher. New Broncos owner Rob Walton added a big name to the ownership group, former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. She has many connections to Denver. She moved here when she was 12 years old and graduated from DU. The group agreed to buy the team for more than $4.5 billion.
It is a pretty nice start to our day. We do have more sunshine out there this morning. This afternoon, there will be a slightly better chance for a few thunderstorms where you see the light green, a chance of general thunderstorms, a little rain, lightning, and thunder. And then here in the darker green where a few of those could turn stronger. I'll show you what that looks like on Futurecast here in just a minute. Plus, it gets hot again this week. It was nice to get a one-day break, Jason.
We still have a rollover crash over at Jewel in Havana over in Aurora. We also have Highway 6 west of Golden closed down. They are putting up a pedestrian bridge across Clear Creek, and so right by tunnel number 1. So we still have it closed from here at Highway 119 all the way down to Golden. So they could have it closed for the next couple hours. I'm hoping that they're going to open it a little bit early. Until then, I-70 is your alternate.
Well, no prescription for birth control isn't something we commonly see, but the company now pushing to make their product over the counter.
Plus, art comes to life. The special moving murals you'll find in a Colorado town.